Hello my fellow whale watchers and welcome to another episode of Total Destruction. If you play against top level Champion League players, it is sometimes not a big difference if the red team has one player less. Like in this Pick and Rush tour with my clanmate Void against a French top Champion League duo. It started out as a 6 vs 5 but ended up in a 1 vs 4. Only with good timing and a bit of luck I could bring home the victory as last man standing. I will comment whenever I jump into a new robot and then we will have a bit of a closer look to the endgame. So I started with my Phantom that is optimized as Pick and Rush starting bot. Its natural trail goes towards locking down center, but this only works if I get enough team support. So let's see how this goes. Okay, unfortunately it did not go so well. So we only hold one beacon at this point. Now I decide to bring my Rastor Smoother Fenrir. The idea is to grind our opponents down a little bit, especially the tanks need to go, and this build with a nuclear amplifier is great for this purpose. So I will now start to target key targets and hope that I can help my team by getting a few beacons back. We will see how this goes. Okay, that actually went very well, but now Titans are on the battlefield and we died very quickly. We only hold 2 beacons at this point, but we had a good run between, so we elaborated a nice beacon bar lead. Next I bring my own Titan and hope that I can support my team a bit by taking out key targets. In this battle I run a brawling configuration, so maybe we can also manage to neutralize a few tanks. So that went okay. I had to sacrifice my Titan in the end in order to get the luchador of one of the red top players out of the way. Otherwise he would have probably wiped out our entire team. We hold 3 beacons, that's not so bad. Next I will jump in on D in order to prevent that red Capri from taking it. So for this task the Ravana is the right choice. That went as planned, so in order to put pressure on the reds, I would now go for their beacons. So we got A, but we have almost no health left. So I decide to self-destruct and bring my last spot, the Capri, for the endgame. And this is a tricky endgame because we have a beacon lead, but we are in a 2 versus 4. So what would you do in this situation? Actually, there are a lot of choices that we can make in this situation, and all of them would make sense somehow. Let's analyze and see if we can find the best one. My teammate here is in the process of getting E, and one option would be to wait until he has the beacon and then jump in there to support him. In the end, that's our role, right? But if you think a bit ahead, what would happen? We would be sort of stuck at E, and I guess the red team would get all our other beacons and win, simply because there's nobody left on the battlefield. So it could be a better option to jump in at D and prevent this dude here from taking it. But there is a problem. I would end up in a brawl, and I don't know if you paid attention, but this dude here is in a Prisma Behemoth, and this other one is in a Capri. So I believe that if I jumped in there with my Capri, I could maybe hold the beacon for a bit, but I would lose my last spot shortly afterwards. Beacon A is too far away from where everything else is happening, so believe it or not, in this situation I think it's best to jump in at our spawn and move into this area here between the beacons and then try to get one of them, depending on what this guy here does. Remember, I run 4 Cramolas, so I have quite some firepower from 500 meters range. So I hope that I can take also out the behemoth somehow, because it's not at full health anymore. And in the meantime, I hope that my last remaining teammate will be able to hold beacon E for a while before he goes down. If we somehow manage to hold 2 beacons on average, we should win. Let's go! Alright, so he lets me take this beacon. Great! The mothership is also charged up, so now it's time for the behemoth to go to sniper heaven. The red beacon goes towards our spawn, good for us because now we can also take center back. Our teammate is still able to hold E, great job by him. Finally he dies, but we get center in the meantime. Then we simply run through this hawk, nuke this other behemoth that showed up here in the meantime, and move towards our second blue beacon in order to lock it down. But it won't be necessary anymore because we managed to reach the finishing line. What a great battle! It's extremely difficult to win against this top duo. As you will now see in the stats, it was a 5 versus 6, but it really did not feel like it. So you can see what a big difference it makes if you have the latest meta gear at your disposal. I hope that you liked this episode of Total Destruction. Thanks for watching and see you on my channel.